Hello, Watch fam. Back again today with an unboxing of sorts of a watch that I just recently acquired. Something that I had wanted for a very, very, very long time. Actually, this watch review is going to be very, very interesting because it comes with a very unique story. And I wanted to talk about this particular brand and this particular model and just to share with you guys my experience. So what I have today is a Steinhart 47 millimeter marine chronometer. Now, this watch came out in 2006. Everybody may be very familiar with the Steinhart brands. Very, very, very solid. And let me open this up. I actually picked this watch up yesterday from an eBay seller. One of my favorite pastimes is just to look at watches, look at watch websites, look at people who have modded watches, read some of the watch forums. And there are a few watches that I'm actually searching for. And this Steinhart 47 millimeter chronometer was one of those watches. Now, this watch has been on my radar since about 2010 when I was first introduced to this brand by someone who I fortunately I should say, don't have a friendship with anymore. But he was the first person to put me on to this brand. And I actually fell in love with this watch because, in my opinion, it is the absolute epitome of class and style. This particular watch with this dial face, these hands, these ghoulish hands, blue hued. This is what you wear when you are trying to procure that solid financial service job, or you're meeting with someone slightly older who appreciates, good things and recognizes a person that has great taste. This watch is definitely worn by bosses across the globe. Now, getting back to that story, my ex-friend has a gold tone 47 millimeter Steinhart marine chronometer, and that's the watch that he showed me, and that I actually fell in love with. Little did I know that at the time that I would want that particular watch, or I probably would have jumped on it then. It never occurred to me that it would be so hard to find one. Now, just a brief history on what a chronometer is. A chronometer is really a exceptionally accurate timepiece. Now, they were primarily designed to be used for nautical purposes. They were really used in ships because people on ships needed to be able to tell accurate time despite the motion of a ship, variations in temperature, humidity, air pressure, things of that nature, things that would generally throw off a calculation. Chronometers were built, to address that issue, especially if a ship captain was trying to figure out where he was by observing, the stars, and trying to determine, where he was on the lines of longitude. So chronometers, if you Google it, you'll see one. It looked like a clock that's built on a bunch of springs that allows it to move according to the motion of a ship. They're very rugged, and a watch variation of that type, you can't get any better than that. Now, this particular watch has a Unitas 6498 movement in it, and it is absolutely beautiful. The indices on the dial, but the dial looks to be ceramic. I don't have this watch open, so I can't tell for sure, but the dial to me seems to be ceramic. And the second hand is at the 6 o'clock position. It has an onion crown. a 22 millimeter lug width, and it's 47 millimeters, like I said, in diameter. I believe that might be about, I don't know, 13, 14 high. And I'm going to take this off take it off of the cushion so that you can see the movement. As a matter of fact, I could actually even open this up so that you can see the movement. Just bear with me. I'm going to open it up so that you can see the movement. There it is. Signed 17 jewels. It has an exhibition case back, United 6498 movement, sapphire crystal. And it is absolutely, I love looking at this watch from the back. It's just Swiss made, and it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. ETA 698. I thought it was a United 698. Right? So it's like an ETA 698, 6498 movement, and it is absolutely beautiful. Bought this watch yesterday off of eBay. The seller actually purchased this watch from GNOMON in Singapore, and they purchased this in 2012. Now this watch came out in 2006. Now here is where the story gets very interesting. I wanted this watch so bad that I reached out through a third party to the gentleman that I don't speak to anymore, inquiring if he was willing to sell his Steinhart. Naturally, he said no. And I thought that I could find one, so for a few years I just put myself out there on the watch forums and the such, and trying to find one to no avail. Finally, in 2014, Steinhart came out with this. Yes, folks, a 44 millimeter version of the 47 millimeter watch that they made a few years prior. And since I could not find the 47 millimeter, my wife actually bought me this 44 millimeter Steinhart. Same movement, 6498, as you can see there on the sub dial. Deployant class, whereas the 47 millimeter did come with the deployant class, which the seller was kind enough to include on a strap, but the strap was so ratty that I actually, as soon as I saw it, I took it right off and I threw it away. So yes, folks, I now have in my possession two Steinhart watches. My wife is, I don't even know what's going to happen to me. But anyway, I have a 47 millimeter, which I always wanted, but I wanted a gold tone one, having a stainless steel. And I have the 44 millimeter, which I have in my right hand, that she purchased for me in 2016. Directly from Steinhart. Now, in between that time, I reached out to Steinhart and I asked them if they knew where I could find a 47 millimeter gold tone. Someone was kind enough, the lady got back to me and she said that the watch was old, that I needed to just search the web, that they weren't going to make this particular watch in 47 millimeter anymore, and good luck trying to find one. So in 2016, my wife bought me this watch and I've had it ever since. From 2016 till today, I must have wore this watch less than a dozen times. It is a beautiful watch. I don't wear it very often. I wear it with certain outfits and for certain occasions, and it's on a brown strap. Now, if you compare the two watches, so you go like, okay, so what's the difference between the two? Well, if you look here, I'm gonna show you the dial. It almost appears to be a chapter ring, but it's a stainless steel chapter ring on the inside of the 47 millimeter dial, which pushes it out a bit, and that's the difference. The other difference is, if you notice here on the seconds hand, On the 47 millimeter, it is slightly beige. Even though the dial is white, this area right here on the actual seconds hand is like a creamish color. Whereas and also the numerals are slightly different. You can see for the later model one, the one that came out in 2014, the numerals they look a little bit crisp. Maybe they're applied a little bit different, but there's virtually little to no difference between the two watches, besides the fact that one is 47 millimeter and one is 44. Same movement, deploying clasp, which I will show you. Now here we go. This is let me see if I can do this, because it's on a deploying class. It's kind of hard to see. Let's see. No, I can't do it that way either. Let me come back. Swiss. Let me see. Does this work? Let me see. Boy, I'm really having a tough time with this today. Got to get it to focus. But it's the same movement inside this watch, and 22 millimeters on the lug width. 22 millimeter on the lug width. Same blued out hands. I believe a white ceramic dial. But if you notice on this one, the second hands on the outside of the dial on the 47 millimeter, it's a little different. It's a little slightly different. So impulsively, when I saw this, I came into work yesterday, and like I said, I went on eBay. I put in Steinhart 47 millimeter, and the watch on the left popped up, and I couldn't believe it, because I have not seen a 47 millimeter Steinhart. I have not seen a 47 millimeter Steinhart, especially not a gold tone one, and I just jumped on it. I just simply purchased the watch, and I'm not saying that I'm totally wish I hadn't. Because sometimes when it comes down to these things, you got a bird in the hand. You got to just grab it. This is not ideally, like I said, I really would have wanted to gold tone, but all may not be lost. This afternoon, I reached out to that third party again and asked if she would be willing to send an email suggesting that if the gentleman was willing to just plain swap out his gold tone 47 millimeter Steinhart for my stainless steel 47 millimeter Steinhart. And you never know, maybe all along he wanted a stainless steel one, and he's willing to do that. And I also put it out there as a caveat that if he had another idea in regards to making an offer, I would be willing to entertain that. In the subsequent years, I had her send more emails where I was willing to give away very hard to find, like I was willing to give away my Monster, my orange and my black Monster, because I thought that, you know, those items, at least those watches, you could see on some of the forums and on eBay, even though they're for these astronomical prices. You know, I figured that I would probably be able to get those, but the 47 millimeter gold tone Steinhart, that just wasn't seeming to be going my way. And he didn't respond. He didn't take the bait on that either. He may not take the bait on this straight swap with the 47 millimeter. You never know. But I can put it out there. Now, the question may be, well, what am I going to do with this 44 millimeter? Well, what I'll do simply is I'll offer it to my wife. I know she bought this for me as a gift. And as a rule, she and I don't swap watches. We don't wear each other's watches, even though her watch game is sick. She's got quite an impressive. I'm gonna try to get her to do a state of the collection with her watches, and let her just go for it. And but I will offer this 44 millimeter to her. I can't see myself keeping both of them. I won't sell it, the 44 millimeter. And who knows, she may want it, but if she doesn't, then maybe I'll be stuck with both of them. The 47 millimeter, want the gold tone, got the stainless steel, but it is a serious watch, definitely boss player style. And if you've got like a chalk gray pinstripe suit, if you've got like a really important business meeting where you're meeting with an older gentleman, somebody's grandfather, you don't want to wear the iced out Rolly, you don't want to wear the Dracula Monster, you might want to go Grand Seiko. You may not want to wear a Rolex that's so predictable. You may not want to wear the Tudor. Even though my Pelagos, that's something that I would definitely wear. But then again, sometimes when you're meeting with certain people, I found that if your watch game is too strong, you won't get them to pay attention. And if you're asking for something, if you need assistance in some sort of way, you can just forget it. You ain't getting it. But if you have on the Steinhart, it's a relatively inexpensive watch. My wife paid, I think, $480 for this 44 millimeter. I would have to say that maybe the 47 millimeter might have been $5, $6, if even that. But it looks significantly more expensive than that. And it's very, very classy, and it's not too ostentatious. So when you want to make a statement, but you don't want to overdo it, and you want to give the appearance very flashy, Steinhart Marine Chronometer, that's definitely the way to go. And perhaps I'll make another video just to show you guys what the state of the collection is, and also just to give you an update as to how this particular situation fared out. Maybe, who knows, the next time I make a video regarding Steinhart, it'll be because the gentleman actually accepted the equal trade swap, because this watch is virtually brand new. It is absolutely beautiful. Whoever had it before, they took very good care of it. I could polish it up. I have all of the necessary weaponry to actually polish up the case. And but I think I'm gonna leave it exactly as it is. This watch is just superb. I really like it because of the size. I really like big face watches. My wrist can definitely support it. I can definitely pull it off. So again, just wanted to share this story with you guys, and I will see you on the next video.